RiverBender.com. One week. The time is 10:02. You're watching our daily show on Roku TV and RiverBender.com. Wherever this show simulcasts anymore, thanks for watching too. We're here with candidate for Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes, and really excited to have you in the studio and excited to get to know a little bit more about you.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for everyone out there watching and listening.
Well, take me through your background a little bit and a little bit of who you are for the folks that are getting to know you too.
I'm Beth Johnes, and I would like to be your mayor. I'm a lifelong resident of the Godfrey-Alton area. I'm married to Tim for 40 years, and we've raised 3 daughters who have led very successful careers. And I have 1 sassy granddaughter. I'm a member of St. Mary's Church and a Marquette and Lewis and Clark graduate. I hate to waste our airtime, but I need to, let's say, take out the trash.
Okay.
There's been some misconception that I want to close down the street department, dissolve the street department, sell the equipment, sub everything out. That is totally untrue.
Right.
What I would like to do is keep the street department. They're doing a fine job. Their job is to have street maintenance. When it comes to the heavy lifting, let's say, those are the jobs that I feel that they can handle, and I would like to see those jobs subbed out.
Well, and see, we can dive right into that if you'd like to too, because I know that it's kind of gotten. We're at the point in the race, Beth, where it's just it seems like everyone's really kind of doing all they can to make their case.
Exactly.
And so with that being said, what have you kind of what are your thoughts just on the village right now currently? Just kind of a quick segue over from that.
The village is a nice place to live. Small town atmosphere. Everybody seems to like that small town atmosphere. I like that small town atmosphere. I want to keep that small town atmosphere. I want to, when I'm mayor, I work for the residents. Mm-hmm. I'm their employee.
Right.
Whatever, I work for them. They voted for me. That's my job. I want to hear from them. I want to know what they want. I want to find out, what's important to them in the growth of Godfrey, what they would like to see happen. Mm-hmm. I want to provide residential services. They all pay taxes, but they don't have the residential services. I'd like to see a yard waste and lawn pickup removal twice a year, maybe. A large item pickup twice a year, maybe. I'd like to see some sidewalks continued down Delmar. And I'd like to see some sidewalks continued down Godfrey Road. I'd like to see the street sweeper come out. I think we own 2 street sweepers. I know we own 1 for sure. And have you ever seen the street sweeper?
I want to clarify. So I don't drive in Godfrey too much. So I just want to throw that.
But I think that you would see the street sweeper. I've never seen the street sweeper, never. And I've had some folks say that they've never seen the street sweeper.
So, and those are really good points and things that I can't wait. And I want to talk about those with you too. And, real quick though, let's kind of dive back into Beth a little bit, just for the folks that, kind of are interested. Take me through, do you have your background? You're growing up, did you grow up in Alton, Godfrey?
Yes, I did.
Really cool.
Born and raised. I've got a 35 years in accounting and business management background. I've held jobs with the Madison County Auditor, Shepherd, Morgan & Schwab, and the Woodlands Golf Course.
Wow.
And for 10 years, I owned a union contracting company. So with those, with that background, I feel like I can manage a business, balance a budget, and put the needs of my customers first, which I think that's lacking in Godfrey.
So take me through a little bit about, just your rise through kind of the corporate chain, and then you're finding your own and your own company here. What have you learned along the way with just working with people and growing with the times?
It's tough.
It's a good point.
And the customer's needs need to come first.
Yeah.
And, pretty much the customer is always right.
Well, yeah. So, how did you find time to, kind of manage all this with raising a family and everything else?
It was, I don't know how people do it, but I did it. I'm very organized. I'm very efficient. So, you just had to be, working, running kids to school, soccer, whatever else, yeah, it was just homework. Yeah, you just have a schedule, you stick to your schedule.
Well, and have you ever ran or decided to be a part of public life before?
No, I am not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I just want to be there for the residents and let them feel that they're being heard. Mm-hmm. If they've got an issue, they can come to me. And I will see that issue through until it's resolved.
So, with this being kind of your first foray into the political arena, if you will, what have you kind of learned? What is the takeaways from, business life, personal life, and then, now public life?
Well, actually, I view it as you're running a business. Uh-huh. And so you have to have that business management and that business background. Because basically it is a business. Yeah. You've got employees, you've got a budget. You've got expenses. You need to make people happy. I mean, you're not going to make everybody happy, but you need to make people happy. And that's just how I view it. And I feel that I have that very, very strong background.
Well, and take me through what led up to running for mayor this time around. Was this something that you thought about for a while? Was it something that, you just kind of said, let's do this, let's see what happens? Take me through that process.
It was just something that I had in the back of my mind. I had talked to several people, and they had expressed concerns with the leadership, and that it was time to change leadership, mm-hmm. and that fresh leadership needs to be in there, and that they had some issues with being put on this list. And I'm like, what is this list? And this list is people that have stormwater damage in their backyard. And supposedly they call, and they're told that it will be reviewed, and then they will be put on the list. Well, last week I talked to a lady that was put on the list last year, and the estimate to fix her property was $95,000. Well, she called this year, and she's been moved down the list because there's been more, I don't want to say important, but more things that need to be fixed before hers, according to the village engineer.
Yeah.
He did say he would come out and reassess her property, but he couldn't guarantee that she wouldn't be moved down the list. So here's my hypothetical to you. If you were having stormwater issues, when it rained, if your backyard looked like a built-in swimming pool, and you called the village and they said to you, we put you on the list because there's more drastic issues that need to be fixed before yours, and you're on this list for a year. Okay, so hypothetical, let's say the mayor all of a sudden has a built-in pool in his backyard, and it's going to cost $95,000 to fix. Who do you think is going to get fixed first?
Well, I don't want to answer that hypothetical.
I know. And I'm not going to answer it either. I'm just throwing it out there.
So is there any evidence of that happening, though? I mean...
Yeah, I have the list.
Oh, wow. Do you have a list? I mean...
I have it on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have the list, and I have the lady's pictures.
Wow. So, I mean, this is where my question is... So, like, with the stormwater damage, are we talking about because there's no drainage in the back and like in these homes in this
well,
ground?
With her instance, I think she's lived on this property 30 plus years. Uh-huh. And so when she lived there was an alfalfa field in the back. Okay. Or alfalfa or asparagus. I can't remember what she told me. So it was just field. Well, then a builder came in and built up the subdivision without allowing for the proper drainage. Yeah. So over the years, it's her and 4 other neighbors that are affected with the drainage issue. Wow. And it needs to be fixed. I mean, that's the worst thing in the world, to see your yard just disappearing. No,
and where did you? And this is because I don't know too much about the storm list or anything. Yeah. This is honestly the first time I'm hearing about it. Is there like a fund set aside for storm damage? Is what we're saying, and they're just getting pushed down the list and not getting taken care of? From
what I took away, the engineer has a budget.
Okay.
He likes to use that budget to get as many little things as he can get taken care of. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, no, I get, and that's what I'm just curious about, because it's seriously the first time I've never really looked into this much, but I get get the concern there though, especially if you're, for the woman that's saying, I got a literal lake back here,
But then here's my other concern, which I didn't want to throw this out there at you, because I know it's like, oh my God.
No, you're
the P word, the plan.
Oh God.
Okay, so they want to spend $90,000 on a comprehensive plan without blinking an eye, but they can't spend $95,000 on this woman's backyard.
So
maybe it's in your budget somewhere, maybe it's in your budget line, but still, just look at it. I mean, it's common sense.
Well, and see, that's so is my problem is not problem, but my only question would be on this is it kind of like, I guess, a Bluff Street issue, or like a Riverview wall? Because, I mean, people buy their homes, and was she already there? And then all of a sudden the drainage happened after she was moved in. It wasn't like she bought it and then knew the problem was there. Because that's my question. If it was like...
No, the problem wasn't there because the homes weren't there. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
this
now
lady,
it's all
the homes
making
weren't
sense.
There.
Okay.
Yeah. Another lady that has an issue with a creek in her backyard.
Gotcha.
She didn't know it was a problem. This is a lady off of Pierce Lane. She didn't know it was a problem until it became a problem. And then she found out that Godfrey owned the creek. So she's called him and said, come and fix this, come and fix this. Gotcha. She's on the list too. And they won't come out and fix it. So now the next good rain, she's going to lose her hot tub down the creek. I was out there and looked at it.
Wow. How many are on this list?
Let me check.
That is just fascinating. I mean, this is seriously, Beth, the first time the first time I've heard about this. And, how important is it for you to kind of gain all this information and talk? I mean, because this is from you talking to voters, I'm sure, and talking to constituents, too. We're waiting just a couple of seconds here, but just talking a little bit about this storm.
Right now, there's 34 people on the list.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I don't know if that's just page one or if that's the whole list, but yeah, there's 34 people on the list.
Okay, well, and now, so what would you do as mayor to efficiently get this list tackled?
Well, I for sure would address it, and I would say let's start knocking these people off the list. What's it going to take to get these people where they should be?
Yeah,
so they can enjoy their home, so they don't want to move.
And that makes sense, because at first my takeaway was, I bought a house like I knew had a water issue, and I'm just kind of hoping this village pays for it. But if you're already there and these things are natural occurrences, I totally get the frustration, 100%. So whenever you're talking to folks, has this become more and more of a common issue? I know we're talking about this too much, but has this been more common than you thought it was going to be? Or is this just a couple of people? Because this is really so fascinating.
It's more than a couple of people.
Wow.
There's 34 people on the list. So yeah, I mean it's
okay.
It's more than a common issue, but it seems like the list has been put in a drawer, let's say.
Yeah. Well, and going forward too, what are some of the other things that you're hearing just from walking the streets and picking up the phone and talking to folks about some of the concerns they have in your opinion with the village?
They want to be heard,
okay,
which they're not being heard, or they feel like they're not being heard. I agree that they're not being heard. I had some issues with the village and I wasn't heard.
Can we expand on that? It's up to you. I don't want to push.
Well, I just had some problems with a neighbor that went on for about 18 months and was just told there's nothing we can do.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And it was like, no, you can, as far as I'm concerned, you can do something.
Well, and just, have the conversation and,
exactly.
and that makes sense. And so going forward, what do you envision for Godfrey? I mean, because we'll have a lot more time to talk about this after we come back from a break, but just to kind of, let the folks that are watching today know a little bit more just of what you'd like to do. If you could hone it into a couple of points that we can expand on later, what would they be? I'd
like to attract younger families to move in to Godfrey. But before we do that, we need to, there's been several builders that won't build in Godfrey anymore for one more reason or another. And very good builders. And I would like to sit down with them and say, okay, I'm the mayor now. What happened? What happened? there's a new leadership. Let's go forward. I would like to get you back. I would like to have you build your quality homes. I would like to get young families in here.
Yeah. Makes sense, and really a good start to the conversation. We'll come back after our first break, and we'll have more for you. State of the race coverage with Beth Johnes. I always do that to you. I can't talk. Candidate for mayor of the village of Godfrey. And we'll come back with more. Getting to know Beth and her platform and vision for the village if elected on April the 1st.
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back at 10:20 on this 25th day of March. Our State of the Race coverage. You were my last mayoral candidate interview.
Save the best for the last, didn't you?
Well, you know what bums me? I had almost everyone but one person, and it's just like, kind of makes me sad. But that's okay. I got Beth in the studio, and we're talking about her platform and vision for the village of Godfrey if elected on April the 1st. And, Beth, what do you want people to know most about you when it comes to just who you are and your platform? Because, in this new age of media, it seems like the old form of, interviews and the question and answer stuff, it's gone. It's more of this, people want to get to know, the folks that are really coming into office and getting to hear them from a longer formed conversation,
Right.
Just what are your thoughts? What do you like for people to know about you?
Well, I think it's good to have people that have the same values that you do, family values. I think I have that, and I think there's a lot of people. All the residents in Godfrey, are family orientated.
Yeah.
And so I just like to see things focused around that. I think Godfrey has become complacent, and I'd like to meet with the residents and say, you know, tell me what your top 5, top 10 things are that you'd like to see happen in Godfrey. You know, compile that list and then send it back out and say, this is what we've come up with. You know, do you agree with that? You know, should we move forward with that? Or is there other things that you'd like to see happen? And like I said, improve on those residential services. We have the money. They're just not spending the money. And improve on that. Clean up the business district. There's money in the business district fund so we can clean up the business district. Finish those sidewalks like I talked about. Move the street department off of Godfrey Road and put it back with the other street department that's off of Herder Industrial. Clean up that corner. Get rid of that eyesore that's on Godfrey Road. Just basically common sense things, you know?
Well, and what does day one look like for you? Like, you know, let's say the stars align and it's just the night of Beth, you know, and you you win the election. What does day one after you're sworn into the village mayor seat look like for you?
Well, day one is going to be, I'm not going to go in and clean house. I will not go in and say, no, you know, here's my people, you guys clear out. That's not going to happen day one. Day one's going to look like meeting with department heads, going over their budget, seeing what they see what their top priorities are and wants, kind of taking the pencil to their budget, finding out why there's so much excess spending on department head and personnel wages, get to the bottom of that, and just things like that. Just like a meet and greet, get to know everybody, get to know all the employees, and just kind of go from there.
Well, and you know, whenever you're looking at the line items, because I mean, you do have the background. We talked about that earlier. What are you going to be looking for? You know, in those reports and in those budgets, is there? You know, when we talk excess, what is excess for you, or what do you define as something? I hate to use the word wasteful, but wasteful spending.
Some of the department heads are making like too much money.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yes, and you know, okay, that's my opinion. They're making too much money. I'd like to find out why. What's that based on?
Gotcha.
You know, look at things like that. Look at maintenance supplies. You know, do we need to spend this much on that? Are you sending out for bids over? If you want an item over $2,500, are you sending it out for bid, or are you just giving it to, you know, whoever you want to? If there's a piece of equipment that you need to buy, well, you know, we have to see how badly we need that piece of equipment. If we can repair what we have, or if it's just going to be a Band-Aid. You know, you don't need to be putting Band-Aids on top of things. You know, go out and get the new stuff.
And, you know, whenever you're looking at, you know, infrastructure and improvements, because all that goes hand in hand, you know, with that budget, what do you think would be, you know, year 1 or 2, you know, for you on an infrastructure plan? I know you hit on sidewalks and about putting those down Delmar, and I know that there's a lot of people that would probably, you know, agree with you on that, to have that continually grow. Do you see an expansion in your term as mayor in terms of, you know, acreage, or in terms of incorporating or utilizing some property for industry or any type of economic growth? Yeah,
there's a lot of property there for growth. But like I said before, you have to have the people before you have the business. Gotcha. If you can't support the business, you can't go after the business. Yeah. So you got to go after the people first. So that's pretty much how year 1 looks, you know, and then just take it from there and say, okay, what are our goals? You know, and how many new homes do you want to have built? In the year 2024 and 2023, there was only 40 new homes built. That's not even an average of 1 home a month.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Right. Yeah, because that would be 2 years, wouldn't that?
Yes.
Be? Yeah.
And I have that. I have that paperwork.
Yeah. No, so
I'm just not shooting off the hip.
No, I was just trying to do that because I'm not a math major. I was like, that is 2 years, so that wouldn't be 2. So, you know, and that's another thing too, is finding out what that growth looks like. And there's you know, and you hit on it, I think, very well with, there's a transition period. I mean, and this is why the only thing I find difficult with local elections and consolidated ones is there's not a long enough, I think, transition to an administration, because sometimes you're starting off, kind of learning things on, on the fly a little bit.
Yeah, and then it's time to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So, are there any people you're kind of talking to or getting advice from, or, kind of just leveraging in a way to kind of help that first couple of months, that first couple of years in office, if everything goes well?
Not really. There's rumors flying that I have an informant. Oh, she's got an informant. Well, I don't have an informant. My informant is myself.
An informant.
And maybe my granddaughter.
An informant. It's crazy. People are so. And that's at least you got that out there to let people know. But it's one of those things though where it is fascinating, because you're doing this, and I think people should know that you're looking to do this as Beth. You aren't having the kind of the team of people.
Yeah, like I told you, I'm not a politician, so I like it. Yeah, I'm just going in it as just a resident of Godfrey that sees a need for the change of leadership and sees the need to finally have the residents come first.
What do you think, and if it's okay if I ask, I didn't get a chance to ask the aldermanic candidates this yesterday, but the news that Godfrey is going to be taking Alton to some type of litigation over this $120,000. What do you think about that, number one? And then the follow-up is, do you think there could be a working relationship with communities like Alton or Grafton or Jerseyville that are surrounding Godfrey? Maybe not in a completely symbiotic way, but in a way that you can both help each other grow.
From what I've gathered on that $120,000, it had to do with the sewer sales. And when Alton sold their sewer, I don't know how.
It was a long.
Yeah, because it was the sewer sale. Yeah. So it was years ago. I don't know how it got into that Godfrey gave Alton $120,000, and I don't know how all that got in there, but somehow Godfrey gave Alton $120,000 on the premises that when you sell your sewer system, we get that money back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Alton sold their sewer system. They never got the money back. So Godfrey's been saying, hey, can we get this back? Can we get this back? Then all of a sudden, lo and behold, somebody did some creative accounting, and it's not showing up on Alton's books anymore.
Huh. Well.
So that's what I gather.
Get in trouble. I got another couple of weeks here. But
that's what I gather.
So it's just a thought though, because it is relevant to the news. So it
is
one of those things where you kind of just are going to have to see this one play out.
Well, and if the shoe was on the other foot, Alton would be after Godfrey.
You got to,
so
right?
It's like, it's so so it's like, why are they going after him? Well, you know what, Alton would be going after Godfrey,
right?
Or Alton would be, everybody whoever owed who would be going after them,
right?
And wouldn't wait this long,
right? Well, and now with that being said, just that follow up, do you think there is a chance to collaborate in some way, shape, or form with other communities?
I'm open to conversation with other communities. I think this has just been going on just forever. Alton won't talk to Godfrey. Godfrey won't talk to Alton.
Yeah.
And who knows why? I don't know why. It's just they won't talk to one another. Well, I'll have an open conversation with them. I know the people that are running for office. I have conversations with them now.
Right.
At Quick Trip, we have conversations, So, I'm not afraid to have a conversation with anybody.
Well, and that's another thing I think that's important for folks to know about too. Well, and another topic that's been coming up in this Godfrey side of the mayoral stuff and just village wide has been, of course, the roundabout story the last couple of years, and now it's coming in. It looks like next year. What are your thoughts on the roundabout?
The roundabout, when construction starts, it's going to be a cluster. Oh. And I live where the Godfrey Greenery used to be on Delmar.
Oh.
So the road's going to be shut probably right there. So my house is going to be used as the roundabout until the roundabout's done. My driveway will be. So, I'm going to have problems just like the people on the other side of Delmar.
Uh-huh.
Once it's completed and once everybody takes their driver's ed course on how to drive a roundabout.
or through one.
I think they'll like it. But then you have to look to the future. if you want to continue your business district down Delmar, which I'm against that. I don't want to continue the business district down Delmar, but some want to. You're going to have to widen the road. So then you're going to have to tear up the roundabout.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and so where do you foresee the business district just staying on Godfrey Road?
Yes. Why can't you keep the business district on this end for our families?
And now, do you see a way to go down towards the corridor a little bit more to keep expanding that district? Or
yes,
do you think
and you can go back towards like Airport Road, those areas for homes, and then just stay in the 255 corridor for the business district.
Do you see sports tourism as something that Godfrey could utilize and leverage with the land that you have?
I do. Well, just with our park system.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can surely collaborate with, like Alton, on a sports thing, have a conversation with them, see what they have to offer, see what we have to offer. Lewis and Clark, you've got things there that you can work with them.
Well, and see, that's another fascinating topic, and we'll hit on this before we take our second break. We take 3 breaks, but whenever you're talking to folks and they're reaching out and saying, hey, Beth, I'm really excited about this, you running for mayor, or here's what I think needs to be done, how important is it to educate the constituents on just the different taxing bodies of the village and understanding how they work with you guys in local government? Because the board of trustees at Lewis and Clark that's making decisions for the taxing district, that's a heck of a lot different than Godfrey. And I think that there's sometimes a discrepancy whenever it comes to your guys' perspective roles.
Right. A lot of people have said to me, lower taxes. Well, our taxes aren't high.
Right.
And they haven't.
That's true.
They haven't been they haven't been lowered in the last few years, but they haven't been raised. Mm-hmm. They've stayed stayed the same. Mm-hmm. It is hard to read your real estate tax bill as to what goes where and what you do with it. But you got to have that transparency. That if somebody walks in my door and says, "Okay, I want to see," it says Godfrey's getting so much of my tax money. Where's it going?
Right.
And I want to be able to pull out something and say, this is going there, this is going there, this is going there. This is what we can use this money for, and this money for.
We have a couple minutes, and I want to ask you about this too. What with local law enforcement, with your partnerships with the Madison County Sheriff's Department, and the work that they do, do you see a need to increase any of that partnership? Because I know that there's folks, and we've talked about it on the show, that are concerned with the amount of dangerous driving that's been going on, and some other things that really just take a lot of resources away from the bigger crimes that are happening throughout the county and in the district that the sheriff's office is serving. My question is just, do you think that everything like that is going okay? Do you see a chance to increase that relationship, or what are your thoughts there?
I met with the lieutenant and talked to him, and yeah, things are going good. He's happy.
Good.
His deputies are happy.
Because they do work hard. And
they do.
Yeah.
And they're great people to work with. And, when time comes for the contract to be up, if they feel the need for another deputy, show me why. Let's see what it's going to cost. And let's see, if the Godfrey residents think there's another need. Mm-hmm. I think there's 3 deputies now. Maybe they might find the need for a 4th. You never know. But, that's something to talk about when it's time for the contract.
Very interesting. And we'll take a quick break here. It's our second break in this 3-parter here, and we'll come back with more on your candidacy for mayor, all the fun stuff, all your vision, and then we'll come back and just keep having this great conversation going. You stay there. We'll stay here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
10:39. Welcome back to this Tuesday morning. It's the 25th day of March. CJ Nasello, Our Daily Show, Roku TV, Riverbender. Thanks for hanging out with us. Back with candidate for Village of Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes. And Beth, at this point, this is where I get to humbly say the floor is yours, Senator or mayoral candidate. What are you kind of focusing on and honing in on the most as we are literally 1 week away from when we're casting ballots? And early voting's underway, and it's dreadful. You already heard my rant on that earlier, but go ahead and vote. What are your thoughts, though? What are you trying to focus in on? What's that kind of last week looking for you?
Well, one thing, one of my opponents sent out a letter leading to the fact that the candidates are running for financial gain. I am not doing this for financial gain. And I said that from the beginning. From the very moment I said I was going to run for mayor, I said I am not in favor of that raise. I do not want that raise. I will not take that raise. I have to take the raise. But any money over what the salary is now, I plan on donating to local charities and keep that money in the Riverbend area.
Wow. So that's really a big statement.
Yes.
That's a big statement.
So I just want to put it out there. I can't believe that I have to say it again. It seemed I thought that it had died down, but it hadn't. I am not in this for the financial gain.
Well, and see, that's, this is why we like having the extended conversation, so you can, let people know that. And, as, like I said, going back to this kind of last couple of thoughts here as we're wrapping up a very hard fought and run campaign. What are you trying to let people know about the most? Is it the salary thing, or are there some other things?
No, it's not. It's not the salary thing, but it's just that I don't want them to think that I'm doing this because I want the money.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't even a factor.
Right.
No. Well, and that's ridiculous. And I felt the raise was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I understood the prefaces of why they did it, but I feel that it's there we are again, excessive spending on our administrators.
Well, and see now, if you were in office, and this is a good follow-up, I think, would you be opposed to any pay raises for the admin or appointees of a prospective mayor or any type of appointed or any type of department head position until you're able to look at a line item? I mean, what would that look like for you?
Oh, yeah, I would have to, and you know, do like a review or you know, an annual review, you know, say, you know, rate you, you know, and say, okay, this is what your bottom number is. you're in the negatives.
You know, as we're talking about, and you hit on earlier, I got to ask you, just because this has been the I don't know why Godfrey had to pick comprehensive plan, but they did. And it's my rant. I've said it for everybody. This isn't like a bias thing. It's just not the biggest. The plan has overtaken my life, Beth.
Oh, you know what?
But let me ask you just what your thoughts are on the comprehensive plan.
I'm not shoving that comprehensive plan down anybody's throat. You know, it's been shoved down your throat enough. It's ridiculous the amount of money that you want to spend. You want to bring somebody in from the outside that doesn't know the area. Mm-hmm. My plan looks like this. I talk to the residents. I get their top 5 or 10 things that they want to see in Godfrey. We gather that list and we say, okay, here's what we found out. This is what you say you want. This is your most important things, you know, that you'd like to see come to Godfrey. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it's, you know, anything, just anything. Some man told me that he'd like to see more bicycle paths. Okay. He goes, but I feel silly for saying that to you because I'm the only one that feels that way. I go, you don't know that?
It's true. That's a good point.
There might be 5 other people in this room that feel like we need to have
I'm in favor. Get off the road.
Yeah.
Put any of them in.
Yeah. No. So, you know, and I said to him, you know, don't be like that. And he goes, you know what? You're right. You've got me thinking. You're right. So I want to see what the residents want. That's my whole thing. I want to see what the residents want. I want to compile this list, then send it back out and say, here's what we've gathered so far. Mm-hmm. Then when we're all done with it, then talk about going out for a plan. And if you spend that money on a plan, don't put it in a drawer like it's been done in the past. It's set in the drawer and all of a sudden they want to bring it out and get a new one. I'm going to have tick marks. Okay, here we're at the 6-month mark. What have we accomplished? This is what our goals were for 6 months. Have we done them? Yes, great. No, why? Mm-hmm. Here's a year. Here's what a year looks like. How does that look?
Well, and see, that's where I've been asking a lot of people was, what is the check and balance? You know, and this isn't, you know, and I don't live in Godfrey, so it's not like I'm throwing my opinion out there. It's just, you got to have a check and balance for some of these things. And it seems like with these plans, and it's not a Godfrey specific, it's literally just how a comprehensive plan works. You look at it, everything's going great. Some things get accomplished. Yeah, that's wonderful. Some things don't. And then, you know, here we are, you know, back to square one. So how are you going to hold people accountable with the, you know, if you have to follow the plan? You know, that's my point.
Well,
and it's not really.
Well, that's the whole thing. There has been no checks and balances.
Yeah.
You've wrote out the check. You've got the plan. It goes in the drawer. Mm-hmm. That's it. Okay. That's not going to happen with me. It's going to be sit front and center on my desk all the time.
Wow.
And it's going to be like, okay, have we done this? If we have not, let's get it done. Mm-hmm. And if there's a reason why it hasn't done with, let's find out what the holdup is. Let's do this.
100%. And now,
and I mean, do that. Do a 6-month, do a year, do an 18-month if you have to. Do 2 years, but no, don't throw it in the drawer.
And, you know, with that being said, too, you know, how are you going to be able to gather all that data from the public that has their input? Is it going to be like an online form? Is it a meet and greet opportunity?
Well, you know, it can be anything. It can be a meet and greet. It can be an online form. It can be a mailer. You know, it can be you coming into my office and say, this is what I want, and me jotting it down. Anything. You know, my door will be open. My doors will be always open. If I'm busy and I have to make an appointment with you, fine. I hope you understand that. But the door is always open.
And, you know, I think a concern, too, when it comes to Godfrey's residents sometimes is the fact that, you know, older residents maybe feel like they're getting outgrown in a way, you know, and this is just from, you know, who I've talked to and just some of the family that I have. You know, I think sometimes it's like, well, what about the older folks out there, the senior citizens? And, you know, what's your message to them that maybe for the folks that go, you know, growth isn't for me. I'm happy with where things are at.
Well, yeah. And if they're happy, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's one little thing that they would like to see change, write it down.
Yeah.
Send it in.
Okay.
You know, I don't care if you're 100 years old and you know, and you want a bike path, okay? Where, you know, write it down.
Well, and going forward too, you know, what is going to be, what is really, when you're looking at Godfrey, if you could pick anything and wave a magic wand, what would be the first thing you do?
Oh, that's a good question. You've stumped me.
Well, and it's, you know, and I don't
because there's so many, because there's so many things that I would like to see done, like right off the bat, that, you know, like getting a sidewalk from Del Mar down to La Vista.
Oh, wow.
You know, that was in the either the 2008 or the 2018 comprehensive plan. I have both plans. Yeah, and I've read them. So that was one of them, to complete that to La Vista.
Wow.
One thing that I feel that wasn't thought through completely, which would not be the first thing that I would do, but something I would think down the road, the Fred Woodman walking path.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to cross Del Mar.
It is a little, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't thought through. You know, they should have thought, oh, well, we got to cross Del Mar. Have you ever tried to cross Del Mar? Especially right there?
Not there, but I have. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, big deal. We put up a flashing light that said people crossing. Mm-hmm. Big deal. You know, that's not going to slow anybody down. You know, why didn't they think about putting an overhead bridge, like a steel bridge like you see on golf courses? Uh-huh. A walking bridge across the road, you know? Do that. Add that into the building of this thing. Don't just put it and then park at La Vista and have to cross Del Mar. Don't add any extra parking now because you're like, oh my gosh, we need more parking. Don't try to add more parking across the street because you're probably not going to get any land to build the parking. No. Bless you.
Thank you.
That's just like after the fact things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, let's build this. Let's hurry up and build this. And it's like, oh, well, wow. We never thought about crossing Del Mar.
Well, so,
and then if you have your bike, you know, crossing Del Mar with your bike, or, you know, a lady with a baby crossing Del Mar with a kid.
I hope not. But, you know, and that's why I really just find it really just fascinating and a really great conversation. And so going forward, you know, you've hit on the trails, you've hit on sidewalks and some of the growth. What is your plan on bringing in business? Do you think that you guys are good with where you're at now? Do you see a chance to bring in some bigger names?
There's a chance to bring in business, but I want business that's not, in Alton.
Yeah.
You know, I want something that is just in our area. You know, maybe you have something in Edwardsville that you'd like to come to Alton. Okay, great. You know, or to Godfrey. You know, you have this in Godfrey now. You don't have to drive to Edwardsville. Something like that. We don't need another restaurant that is in Alton in Godfrey. We don't need that. We don't need to be duplicating things. We need to have unique things. But before that, you know, we gotta attract these young families. You know, I grew up in the Charlie Nasello era. Oh. And, you know, I mean,
true.
You got to have those young families, and you've got the parks, you've got the great park and rec activities that we have. So, you know, there's plenty to attract them.
Yeah.
So you got to have that. You got to have enough people that will support a business. And that's another thing. When a business comes here, they're going to look and say, can you support our business? Well, right now, no. You got to get not necessarily young families, just get people to move into the area. Get some new homes built. Yeah. You know, do better than 0.8 a month for 2 years. You know.
With that being said, do you have a moment to stick around for your closing thoughts?
Yes.
Hey, we'll take our final break. It's 10:52, a little bit of change on this Tuesday morning. It's 52 degrees in downtown Alton. We'll come back with the closing remarks of candidate for Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes, right after this on RiverBender and Roku TV.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing? We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:55, little bit of change. We are wrapping up our hour-long conversation with candidate for Village of Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes. Man, we had a great segment during the break, but you can't hear that one.
Yeah, that was good.
You know, Beth, this is really, the last couple of minutes are for you. This is a week away. 10:55 on April 1st, people are voting. Number one, before I let you have your closing statement, do you have anything planned for April the 1st?
No, I'm going to vote, but I promised my granddaughter that I would take her to vote with me. Aww. Because she wants to vote so bad. She wants to vote for her Nana, so and she tells everybody to vote for her Nana. So when I get her from school on Tuesday, we're going to go vote.
Man, you're hitting me in the soft spots today, Beth. And so with that being said, what's your closing message to the Village of Godfrey as you're seeking the mayor's seat?
Yeah, well, like I said, I want to get the residents involved. That's my main priority, is to hear from the residents, get them involved. Let them know that they actually have a voice and that I will listen to them, that it's not falling on deaf ears. I'd like to be your full-time mayor, helping all of us enjoy a better life and not someone who attends the ribbon cuttings and photo ops. This job is more than a 9-to-5 job. It's a 24/7, and that I am prepared for that. My door will always be open. My phone will always be on, and I will take all your comments. Like I said before, I plan on meeting with the department heads, working on the budget cuts, see where they're not being efficient. Also looking at the excessive wages being paid to the department heads and administrators and asking questions as to why this is so much. Finding the real solution to the residents' needs and to get them off the list. No one gets special treatment because I owe them a favor. I plan on getting personally involved with every complaint, praise, or anything else that concerns the residents of Godfrey. Every election is determined by the people that show up. I challenge all of you to vote on April 1st. Make that vote count and show that you want new leadership. One of the keys to electing good people to office is support those that share your values, and I am that person. As CJ said, early voting is still going on until Friday at the Village Hall until 5 o'clock on Friday. I will always listen to any questions, concerns, and of course, praise.
With that being said, Beth Johnes, I really appreciate your time. We're almost at that hour mark, and it was great to get to know you a little bit more. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity
Thanks
to
for
talk
having
with
me.
you. We'll take a quick break. Remember to vote on April the 1st. I'll come back and wrap up with my rant. You stay there. I'll stay here on Riverbender.